Usually this is where my day begins, in my office, at my desk, rummaging through emails and getting ready for the day.
It's another dead evening here. It's already midnight and I'm still so awake.
My office is really, I guess, a history of from my youth to current. I try to surround myself with the things that inspire me. I feel it's how you take all that inspiration and what you do with the inspiration, how you use it in your own context. If you look around, I mean, there's everything from old rock t-shirts, obviously the knits, to outerwear pieces and jackets and skate culture and music. And I don't wear too many printed t-shirts other than like old rock t-shirts and stuff, so I love obviously Neil Young and decided to cut it up and put it on the back of a jean jacket instead. So in the mornings I'll come in and I'll look at the different sites, whether it be Highsnobiety or whatever I find interesting, you know, scroll through and try to keep up with the youth today and see what they're doing and what they're finding interesting. I don't try to take too much to heart. It's like watching TMZ, you know, it's kind of like pop culture. And in the meantime, we're working on our own site. My new contemporary line that is pretty much gender choice. It's one collection made for men and women. Well, the name looks like Herman, but it's not Herman, it's HERMAN. And so again, the concept behind the collection was that it was one collection designed for women and men, all inspired by, I guess, late 80s and early 90s pop culture, but it's still 2016, it's not 1989. Again, it's inspiration, right? It's things that basically, it's how you create style, whether it's something that costs $1 or something that costs $10,000, it really doesn't matter. It's how you put it together. Collaging basically for me is it's just something that it's like, it spawns different ideas when I have visuals. It's like word association. So if you say one thing, it spawns something. Same thing with a visual for me. If I see something, it'll spawn something else. It's like having all your references laid out in front of you on your desk. So it's kind of like I can turn around and look at everything on the wall and go, oh, you know what, I'm gonna pull that inspiration and that, mix it with something. It may be like just something to remind me, like to stud something or to print something. It's like what's going on in your head, and it just, there it is on the wall. You know what I mean? So it's like, yeah.
This is no disgrace.
I usually will sit at my drawing table, depending on what it is, and I will sketch things out, whether it's the shoe that I just did with John Buscemi that'll be launching, I think, sometime in May or June. I mean, that starts out with a sketch, and then basically from there, I'll go and do research, go out and read a book, or find inspiration from somewhere. And depending on what I'm looking for or just feeling at the time, I'll find different references, whether it's like an old Cream magazine or old Interview magazine. Usually I'll come in here and just sit down and start thumbing through things and just start looking at different things. It might be a font, typeface, it might be an old ad. It's just, I guess, a method to the madness. It's just like the chaotic thought process and how those thoughts get filtered out. It gives a little bit more clarity into the direction that I may want to go. It's always kind of cool to look back to. It's kind of like looking back, you know, and you find things from when you were a kid and you kind of forget about them, but they made you feel a certain way, or when you hear a song or those things, it's kind of like, oh, I remember that. Sometimes after I get inspired or a thought, I'll come into this room, which is more of my Frankenstein workshop, where I'll take things and I'll start taking fabrics, materials, trims, either sewing things together, or like right now what I'm doing is just kind of taking this old jean jacket and just reworking it. That punk rock mentality, just basically have an idea of how I want something to look, creating a style. Again, it's nothing really that new, it's just basically, it's making it your own, that's all. Instead of going out and actually making the piece, I'll play around and cut pieces up, which I've probably been doing since I was a little kid. I'll end up taking the idea and the concept, kind of building it out. If I like it, then it kind of works itself into the collection. If not, it ends up in a box on the shelf in the garage. Right now, this is how I can execute my idea, or at least get it started.